All right, guys, welcome back. It's time to get your draft on once again with some best ball action on Underdog. And you know what? The time is approaching. We're getting near training camp time. Not too long from now, we're going to have actual games. Sure, preseason, fine. But still, games are games. And I'm going to keep saying it because I actually believe it's true. Right now is probably the best time to start drafting for best ball if you haven't started already. Of course, the best time is all the time. But if you're not a degenerate like Chris and I, and you draft since February and all year long, I get it, right? You want to wait until you get more information closer to the season. It's almost draft season. Get your best ball drafts in now. Get in that state of mind before all the ADP kind of like solidifies and everybody's doing the same thing in every draft. No, this is where you can actually make a difference, have some unique builds, and get in some contests that maybe not available much longer. So uh, I was thinking about doing maybe a Best Ball Mania again. We just did that Schnauzer, the mini Schnauzer you see right there. I think I'm going to do another one of these right now, not just because of the lovely price point of $3, but look, it's almost full. And I thought, hey, I can max this, right? $3 for each draft, 20 entry max. And, it gives you a lot of chances to take home that 100K. I don't know if I'm going to make it because it looks like it's about to fill unless I fill a whole lot more slow drafts. And I actually did kind of bulk enter. I didn't do 20, obviously, but I did a few. So you know what? Let's do this, guys. Let's get in one of these. Let's do the mini Schnauzer. We'll get back to Best Ball Mania again in the next day or two. So if you're with me, get on your app, get on the website, whatever you prefer. Go to the NFL draft lobby. Mini Schnauzer, $3. Let's do it. Now, if you know that, look, that's interesting. I'm definitely not going to be able to do it now. See, before, I just want to point this out. Yesterday, you had your slow drafts and your fast drafts. There's not even an option anymore. It is almost full. And so it looks like the slow drafts are gone. All right. Well, let's see if we can get in here before it's filled. All right. Plenty of room. Any of y'all waiting? Let's do it. Jump in here. Look at that. Almost full already. And I'll show you all the board. What's up, Jay? Thank you. Appreciate you. While we're waiting for, I can't say to Phil, it's Phil. We got 1 minute for the draft to start. Let me get this question. And while I answer this question, let me switch over to the draft board. All right. Bobby wants to know about this best ball team. Okay. Let's see. Let me just pull the board up, by the way, like I said I was going to do. So you got Love, you got Tua, and Danny Dimes. All right. You know what? Don't tell Chris. I don't hate drafting Danny Dimes maybe as your third quarterback in a format like this. I don't hate it. But anyways, Jacob, Swift, Caleb. Okay. So that's pretty balanced. I love Ray Davis and Jalen Wright as late RBs. Okay, Nico, Garrett, Pickens, Smitty, Golan, Diami, Elijah. A lot of late round picks I like. If I'm seeing right, it looks like your only tight ends are Warren and Waller. And look, I'm fine with not putting a heavy investment in tight end. Having those two as your only two is a little risky. I will say this: you're hoping Warren really comes through as a tight end one. I'm not real. Let's be real. I'm not going to assume Darren Waller's going to do much of anything except for catch a random touchdown or two this year. Realistically, right? I kid, and I did draft Waller the other day, but realistically, I would have gone a third tight end there just because. I mean, even if they say, okay, well, Warren doesn't come through as an elite tight end, he doesn't have to, right? But I mean, what if Warren gets hurt and misses, several games? You just might not have a tight end that scores you any points. That's the risk. I think there's a cutoff. You could say that with any tight end, but once you get past the first few, like the Laporta, the Hawkinson, maybe that range, probably going 3 tight ends. So, but I'm nitpicking. But I love your late rounds picks here. The Jalen Wrights, the Ray Davises, the De'Ami Browns. I mean, your receiver core is deep. So don't have an elite quarterback or tight end, which is fine because you can wait on that. Oh, speaking of, you know what? I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to take Nico here. And I'm gonna say this is a pretty solid 8 out of 10. I mean, I don't dislike any of your actual picks. I'm big on Garrett Wilson this year. I love Smitty and Pickens and best ball. Those guys are more valuable in this format. I love your late round picks. So yeah, I mean, nothing to dislike here. And I like that you stacked Love there with Golden. That was pretty good. Love is a guy. I mean, you got some Packer investment there, right? Love, Jacobs, and Golden. So it's not a bad offense to have a part of. Okay, let's see. So this is where I'm trying to do something different every draft. I could go Henry Achan or London. I kind of stopped drafting Derrick Henry here at the turn here because I have so much already, and now I think I'm going to go back to Derrick Henry just because now I'm getting a lot of Achan. I've gotten a fair amount of actually Sun God because he's fallen to this range. So let's take it from there. Derrick Henry, Nico Collins. All right. Daniel saying he's in sixth. Let's see where you're at, Daniel. Yeah. Oh, look, there you are on the clock. And okay, saying you believe Warren is this year's Bowers. Okay. I mean, if Warren puts up numbers like Bowers, then you're banking, you're definitely winning that league, I think, because you're solid everywhere else. But yeah, no, I like that. I like that one. Okay. Question here. Since I'm at the 11, I got some time. I actually like, just selfishly speaking, I always prefer to be near the turn when we're streaming because it just gives me more time to actually concentrate on the comments and think before I pick. All right, what's up, Artie? Stuck between a rock and a hard place. An offer for Garrett Wilson for an early, wait, what looks to be an early first for Brian Thomas. Wait, you got two separate offers? Is that what you're saying? You got an offer for Garrett Wilson and what looks to be an early 27 first round pick for Brian Thomas. Well, I'm just going to say, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas, each of those guys just separately are worth a first round pick. If you're going to trade the known young stud receiver for a future pick, yeah. Okay, let me see. I got an offer for my Garrett Wilson and your first round pick for Brian Thomas. Yeah, no way. That's a hard no. I don't think there's a big difference between Garrett Wilson and Brian Thomas. Why would you give up a first round pick too? Yeah, no way. That's a hard no. Like Garrett Wilson, he's not coming in. He's not coming off his rookie season like Brian Thomas. He's also not a guy who's like 28, 29 years old. This guy is going to be a number one alpha receiver for many years. So, gosh, I used to use them. I like those. Those guys are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, look, everyone's got their own opinions, their own values, right? So, just saying, no, that's a hard no. There's no way you're giving up basically a number one receiver and a first round pick just to get a different number one receiver because he's maybe like 2 years younger or something. Yeah, no, don't do it. All right, let's see. I'm on the clock now. I don't have a lot of JSN, so I'll take JSN. I don't know what happened to my screen here. It's kind of weird. Okay. So Henry, Nico, JSN. I'm also curious here. Nah. I'm gonna stick to my values. Not say too much. I know. Like Daniel always tells me when he's in here and I can see him, he's in there. And some of you guys don't always say until later, like, oh, by the way, I was pick number 4. I was the guy who's taking. Okay, there you go. It was funny that happened because I was just about to say something about Amari and Hampton. All right, I'm just gonna take Evans again. I've got no problem hammering Evans here. I was just about to say I'm not going to do it because I took Henry. It doesn't mean I have to go anchor or hero RB, but I'll take the receiver value here. I was wondering if Hampton's ADP was going to start to climb because of the Najee thing, and sure enough, we've seen him go up a couple of picks already. He's like 42 now ADP. I mean, he used to be like the mid 40s. Okay, not a huge jump, but guess where he went here? 37. We're going to start to see it, right? The rookies now are basically going to be almost priced out of realistic value. I'm not saying don't take any rookies, but you're buying at their peak. It's like what happened with Marvin Harrison last year. Remember when Marvin Harrison became a first round pick and he was going at the 12, and you see how that turned out? Like Ted McMillan isn't going, first rounds. I think he's at least reasonable for being the guy who we expect to be the top rookie receiver. But again, we all just assumed Harrison was going to be the best rookie receiver last year. Okay, so it didn't happen because Brian Thomas Jr. wound up being better. It doesn't mean it'll happen this year. But again, am I going to pay the price of like a fourth round pick to get McMillan, or do I wait and take a Travis Hunter? Not me. Or do I keep waiting and take a chance on a guy later on who might break out like a Golden? You know what I mean? So again, I'm not saying don't take rookies anymore, but I'm saying it's going to get to the point where the hype is just going to make them just uh not that you can't win with them, but just not good value targets in a best ball format where value is everything. You know what I mean? So, all right. Dylan has a question. Oh, by the way, yes. Okay. So Daniel Hart. I know you're always in here. Daniel Orton is the other one. Daniel's the one that's at the 6. And then Daniel Hart. I know what you are because your name is D Hart. I always know you're there. So you guys next to each other almost. All right, Dylan's question. Do you think DJ Moore and Achan or Zay and Achan for Mixon and Marv is fair? And he's saying this is redraft. I don't personally. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I think Achan is definitely more valuable than Mixon. To me, that's kind of a significant gap. All right, hold on. Let me make my pick real quick. I'm Mixon here on the board right now, available. I really have not been taking Mixon. I can't be out on him after last year. Doubted him too much last year, but again, I'll just take a shot on a guy like a Henderson instead, typically. Um, and then I do already have Nico, so I don't want Mixon also. Man, I guess I'll just do it. No, I'm not going to do it again. You know what? I got a lot of trivia on Henderson. I'm just going to go. I'll go Addison here. I'm going to really make this an anchor, like a true anchor RB build. So for the question, I will say, okay, you got Malik, Zay, Tyreek, and more. It is redraft, so we don't have to worry about anything beyond this year. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather have more in Achan. Zay and Achan, that's pretty similar. I prefer more to Zay, but still, you're downgrading, honestly, a running back here, going from Achan to Mixon. Achan could be one of the top scoring running backs, and Mixon will be solid, but we know what the ceiling is last year, that he basically just keeps it together, right? This is basically you're betting that Marvin Harrison actually is a first round value, like an elite receiver. Hey, look, I don't know if the videos come out yet or come out tomorrow, maybe. It's not Harrison. I don't think it's Harrison. Harrison, I think, actually could be an elite fantasy receiver if he had an elite quarterback. And so, yeah, I'm gonna take some some shots here at Kyler Murray. I already did a whole section on him. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't see Harrison being significantly better than last year, is what I'm saying. So that means I wouldn't do this. That's all I'm saying. Is I wouldn't do this because I don't see all of a sudden Kyler Murray making, propping up somebody to be like the best fantasy receiver out there. Um, I don't know. I don't think I would do that. Yeah, look. There's nothing wrong with your team. That's exactly right. I don't think you need to do anything here. I don't know who else you have at running back, but I'm not trading Achan. I like DJ Moore a lot this year. I love Malik Neighbors, of course. Like if you're worried about Tyreek Hill, which I know some people are, you could trade Tyreek Hill. But I don't know. Is maybe that guy wants to get Tyreek Hill instead of Marvin Harrison? Probably not. But you never know. Don't know how people value him. All right, Eminem. What do you think about Jaden Higgins after even the first, second round rookie? Yeah. So speaking of the Texans there, like I said, I got Nico here. I think I like Jaden Higgins. I didn't love Jaden Higgins pre-draft. I do like his landing spot. I actually like Jalen Noel, his teammate, a little bit better. But it seems like the Texans like Jaden Higgins better. And he's got the physical attributes to be more of a top target. Okay, hold on a second. Judkins, anyone? You know what? I am slowly buying into Stephon Diggs, at least being viable here. His ADP is also climbing, so this might be the last time I get Diggs. I have a ton of Pearsall, and I'm not really excited about Jaden Reed. So, yeah, we're going full hero RB today, it looks like. And we are waiting on quarterback and tight end, it looks like. I don't have anybody to stack Mahomes with, and I'm not drafting Kelsey. So, you know what? Let's go. Let's go B Rob. Nothing wrong with B Rob. So the contract thing is interesting. It's just weird that they did this, and Cleveland did this too with their the linebacker. I think Carson Schweitzinger. I don't know why they felt like they needed to do this, and now this is basically messing things up for everybody. So did they do this because they think Higgins is some elite talent? That no, I don't think that's what it is. Again, I'm not sure what prompted this. I haven't read that deep into it, but he's going to have a chance to be the number 2 receiver there, right? If he really emerges. But I don't know that anyone's really going to threaten Nico's elite target share. So I think Higgins is on the wing. Oh, hold on one second, guys. Yeah, so I don't know about the fully guaranteed deal. It's a weird thing, but yeah, I like Higgins overall. I'm keeping an eye on this because, like I said, I like Noel pre-draft. I hate that they took both. I think they could both have roles. They're different type of guys. Obviously, Higgins on the outside, Noel probably more of a slot guy, but Noel's blocked by Christian Kirk, and that's the problem right now. A lot of people now high on Christian Kirk, so there's going to be a variety of targets here to different receivers, which is good for the Texans, but I don't think it's good for any one of these individual receivers necessarily. The new ones I'm talking about. Let's see. So Dylan, let me see. Let me go back to your team. Here's the full team. Dylan, Daniels, nice. Achan, Kamara, Neighbors, Hill, Ertz, Moore to and you said this is super flex, right? Okay. So that's good. Yeah, that's very solid. I mean, if there's a guy that you might want to think about trying to trade because this is redraft, it's Ayuk. Other people probably know the same deal. If he's not ready early season. But again, you never know how other people value players. So try it. Let's see. What do I got now? All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have 6 receivers already. I don't have any Jets. I don't have any Bears. Do I have any? Well, you know what? Gonna get Drake May again, so I can put with Diggs because I hardly have any Drake May. Let's see if that pans out. And I can wait on tight end. I'm okay waiting. I'm going 3 tight end anyways at this point. This is what I was talking about earlier. Best tight end on the board right now is Tyler Warren, then David Njoku. I like Njoku a lot. Warren could be, right? Could pay off big, but I'm going 3 either way. So I'll just wait. I guess we'll take more Dobbins. I hate that when I do take Dobbins here. I think again this is fair. I just kind of hate that I get him at 110 when I remember right before he signed, I took him as much as I could at like pick 200. Love those squads, but things change. You got to do what you got to do. What is the deal? I don't know why my screen keeps like disappearing. All right, there we go. I think one dude wanted him. What would you look for? Yeah. Okay. See, someone likes Ayuk. You know what? This actually might be a good time to try to get Ayuk because of all the Jennings noise. People think, oh, he's going to get traded or he's going to hold out or whatever. He said he's not going to hold out, but he might just be a malcontent there. Let me see. For your team, you got it. Come on, HN. Let's see how deep you are. Aaron Jones and Pacheco as your 3 and their 4. That's pretty solid. I mean, I'd rather just get a receiver anyways. Neighbors Hill, Ertz. I mean, Ertz is fine. I hate to trade just for a tight end. I mean, it depends who you might get. So I guess it depends what that guy has. But look, you're not super deep on the bench at receiver. You have good receivers. I'm not saying they're not good. Just, quantity wise. Yeah, I just get another receiver instead. Yeah, Terry McLaurin is not happy, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I mean, he's not going to hold out, or I don't think he's that type of guy. And Washington, I would think would do right by him. So I'm not paying too much attention to that situation, and I think it'll get resolved. What's up, Billy? Billy wants to know. We think that Russ can get the ball to Neighbors more than Jones did. I think by default, that's going to happen. Yes. Russ still has a pretty strong arm. He still can fire it in there. He wasn't that bad last year, really. I think it's more just he was stuck in that offense. I'm not too worried about that. I think Russ will be fine. And I think Neighbors almost doesn't matter. I mean, it's amazing what Neighbors did last year with whatever was at quarterback there. It really is. All right, well, here we go. It looks like I'm with you. I'm going Tyler Warren. He's still here. I really didn't think he would fall. Pick 131. I'm not sure why he fell. And let's see. I'm probably just going to go. The quarterbacks here aren't really stackable. And I hate to. I'm just going to wait and take a chance that I get 2 on the way back. And if not, I'll just end up with leftovers. That's fine. It wouldn't be the first time. All right, Dalton Kincaid. Don't do me dirty again this year. All right, let's hold on. Scroll down a little bit. Let's hope this thing doesn't disappear on me again. Nice. Okay, so who to target for trade? Not Downs. I think you probably can do a little better than Downs. That would be funny if you do Juwan for him. Let's see. Reasonable receiver that you can get in exchange for Ayuk these days. And again, it should be pretty solid. I mean, I do generally like Pearsall better than Ayuk, but like try to aim. You take a chance on some upside. You can go with like a Matthew Golden, get someone like him. I think you should be able to get like a Jacoby Myers, which would be fair. Um, Maybe Jordan Addison. I think you could do that. Something in that range. I think that would be fine. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of out on Ayuk at this point. Kind of out on drafting, and even this is best ball. You know, you want at least a share or two of almost anybody, just in case, right? You don't want to miss out when you're doing so many drafts. And I do have some Ayuk from earlier in the preseason, but really like the last 2 months, I haven't taken Ayuk. Just just haven't. I just don't think it's worth it. All right, got to hunker down here. It's almost my turn. Okay, so I did go very receiver heavy. I'm probably going to stop at 6 here because my number 6 receiver is Stephon Diggs. Number 5 is Addison. I don't need any more depth here. Let's get some running backs. My running back room is very veteran. Man, this is a boring, boring room. All right, I just missed on Tua. I do probably need to actually get a quarterback. Well, here we go. You already know what's going to happen here. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. All right. Yeah, I should have known. I should have known. Should have known that would happen. All right, I'm just going to take Bryce Young. Really? I'm going to take Cam Ward right before my turn. Knew I was going to take him. And you know what we can do here? It's fine. I'm not taking any more receivers, but I can make Jatavian Sanders my third tight end later on. This is fine. This is great. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to take Tootin. Why is Tootin gone up? It's weird. I have so much to take Bigsby. I'm just take Tootin there. He's a big fall, but it's weird that his ADP seems to have climbed. But I guess it's not weird because what is he? He's a rookie. All right. Yeah. See, I definitely need a third quarterback now. I'm left with Bryce Young. He's got the same bye week as Drake May. Man. All right. Samson. Yeah. Samson 157. It seems crazy now. I'm pretty much now completely out on Dylan Sampson because I have so much Dylan Sampson outside pick 200. It makes no sense for me to take Dylan Sampson anymore now that his ADP has skyrocketed. Oh, it was you. Was you the one, Daniel? You're the one who took. Thank you. You're the one. That's okay. You get your guys, right? This is not a charity. Quincy. Quincy wants to know who's the next J.K. Dobbins in terms of players that are bound for a trade and being drafted super late, like Keenan Allen. Well, Dobbins, I mean, yeah, technically wasn't a trade. He was a free agent, but I know what you're saying. Like a veteran who is nothing and becomes something. Look, Keenan Allen to the Chargers. Is it just a matter of days now, a matter of time? Mike Williams on the pup, Trey Harris holding out. Uh, like what he wants to play on the West Coast for those teams. He played almost his whole career with the Chargers. It makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. I think it's going to happen. I already do have some Keenan Allen, but I think I'm going to start taking more again before he does sign. I mean, he's going to sign, right? He is not a guy who looked like he was completely dust last year. So absolutely Keenan Allen. Amari Cooper, I don't think. I think he might be basically done. He just didn't look good. He had opportunities in multiple teams last couple of years. Just does not look like the same guy. So yeah, I think it's Keenan Allen. He's got to be the one. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see here. All right, come on down once again. Sam Darnold. Believe it or not, for the second straight draft, because I have JSN. So there's my stack. Okay, I do need another running back, like pretty bad. Actually, well, look at this. Now this is what surprises me, although it shouldn't. How's Samson gone up to like 150, and guess who is still sitting here around pick 200? Is Jerome Ford. Give me Jerome Ford at this price. He's going to get more touches than Samson early in the season. Now, is this going to help in a tournament, week 14, 15, 7? Who knows? We don't know what Dylan Sampson's going to look like, but Jerome Ford should still have a role, because what if Judkins is just not playing this year? We don't know how any of this is going to play out, but give me a chance on the guy who is the veteran, is going to get at least significant touches early, if not consistent touches all season long. So yeah, Ford here now makes more sense than Samson in the 150s. Again, you have to think in a tournament like this, not talking redraft, but best ball tournament, it's always about value. What the heck is going on with my screen? I don't know why it keeps doing that. Jalen Milroe, maybe. I mean, the only format I would actually draft Jalen Milroe would be Dynasty. I might take him like late in my fishbowl draft, because that is super flex, and there's actually a bonus for like, well, let's say a bonus, but it benefits running quarterbacks, and it's a deep draft. So I might pull him like an elite like that. But even for this draft, I don't think it's worth it. What round does Garrett Wilson get drafted? Billy wants to know. Well, in underdog drafts here, he's typically third round, sometimes late second round. In a redraft league, you might go a little later because people tend to get more running back early and maybe take more quarterbacks early. So, like here today, he went 25 overall. So basically, the very beginning of the third round. It's about right. I mean, he's like low end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2, right, kind of on the border there. Nice. See, that's how to do it, Brian. That's exactly how to do it. Last pick, take those flyers. A guy who actually has a clear path to touches. Now, he didn't have that before last week, let's say with Judkins news, but he still was going to be involved. Like, a guy was not just going to sit on the bench and watch two rookies do everything. He wasn't exciting, but there was a path, right? So I think that's what you got to do. Aaron Jones and Ayuk for Olave and B-Rob. I mean, yeah, I would take Olave over Ayuk. B-Rob and Aaron Jones, you know what? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I might do that. All right, hold on. Let me make sure I don't mess this up. I guarantee. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for not taking my third tight end to stack with my backup quarterback. JT Sanders, man, this is a weird draft for me now, as it turns out. I got 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. Who will be the running back to occupy my last spot? Try to take someone different. Problem is there's nobody good here. That's the problem. Take more Jarquez Hunter? I guess. Why not? Yeah, this one's going to be a little different for me. That's okay. That's a good thing. Where is Chris? Don't worry. Chris is still alive. He's just busy tonight. He'll be back. Uh, so don't worry. He'll be back when we do our next draft. He was telling me to get Ford every single draft in the last round. Yeah, well, look, Jerome Ford isn't going to be a league winner this year, even if Judkins, doesn't even play. Like we've seen Jerome Ford. He's a good running back. I always liked Jerome Ford. I always feel like Cleveland did him dirty by not giving him enough opportunities. Remember, they brought Kareem Hunt off the street to vulture touchdowns. Now they're drafting these other running backs. There must be something about him that they don't completely trust, but at the same time, how many running backs are really workhorse backs? And he's just not that type of guy. He can kind of do it all, but you got to mix and match here. All right. Guess what? We are done. Let's go over it. I'll actually now show you my team. We'll see what it's like. I'm not even sure exactly what I did here because this was different. This was different for me. All right. We'll see if I like it at all. So, yeah, quarterback, I waited. Drake May, Bryce Young, Sam Darnold, the Hydra returns. Drake May, good luck. I hope you have a good season. My team is really hoping for it. Running back room is Derrick Henry, B-Rob, Dobbins, Tootin Ford, Hunter. It's not bad. Henry is set and forget. I think between the veterans here, B-Rob and Dobbins, they can give me decent output. Ford as well. If one of those rookies pays off, that's fine. My running back room for waiting so long as I did, I actually don't hate it. Nico, JSN, Evans, Waddle, Addison, Diggs. I'm never going to be without points at receiver. I'm really solid here. So I like that's obviously the strength of this team. And then Warren Kincaid, Sanders. You know what? I'm not even sure if it's worth taking a third tight end here because it's how much is he going to really contribute. But, I kind of did that to make Bryce Young to kind of prop up his value on my squad. So, maybe another flyer running back would have been better. I think it's fine. I actually don't hate it as much as I did. All right, guys. We'll appreciate you. We'll be back with another draft. Don't forget, by the way, let me show you the lobby here. Don't forget that there are plenty of other contests on Underdog. So if you haven't signed up, you haven't done this yet, look, in 40 minutes, knocked out a draft. If you want to get in on the mini schnauzer, this is basically your last opportunity. You got to do it tonight because it is almost full. You see right there, a little bit of room left, only fast drafts. You can't sign up for any more slows. So try to get in there. $3 to enter or a chance to win. And it's fun because it's fantasy football. You draft and then you just sit back and watch the points pile up. We also got some fast draft only action here on the Greyhound single entry. It's $35, but just one shot there. The Dalmatian, of course, Best Ball Mania 6, which we'll be back to doing very soon. And all these others. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities here. And this is a new one, by the way. Those of you who watch us every day, this one just popped up. I just noticed the rookies and sophomores. That one is always interesting, but this is a 4-person draft. It's not a huge tournament because obviously the player pool is so small. So this one, I mean, you can get a draft done here in probably like 10 minutes. And then there's the puppy 2 or the big dog. So check it all out. Anybody here not have an Underdog account yet, you just watch this, you're like, yeah, it looks pretty fun. Go on underdogfantasy.com or download the Underdog app. Just make sure if you sign up for the first time, before you check out, use promo code ENDGAME. You see it scrolling down there continuously. Put ENDGAME in the promo code slot because that gets you bonus cash for your first deposit, a free pick, which you can use for any sort of pick 'em. Doesn't have to be NFL, it could be anything, but use your free pick. And then go from there. You can do any of these contests. And of course, NFL is just a small part of what they offer. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Also, keep it locked here, as you know. Put your notifications on. If you haven't liked yet, by the way, I know you are on here all the time and you just watch and you might forget. Every time you click thumbs up, it does help us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe too. Turn notifications on. You know when we do our next live draft, which will be very soon, most likely tomorrow. All right. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.